Hey everybody, it's your girl Queen Chill Mode, and before we get started on today's video, go ahead and hit that like button and please subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and remember to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified of my next video. Hey Bulls Nation, today's episode will be our fifth and final episode of the 2018 Chicago Bulls Draft Target Series. In this episode, we'll take a look at none other than Trae Young, point guard out of Oklahoma University. We'll take a look at his strengths as well as areas that he needs to work on, and of course, how he'll ultimately fit in the event that he's drafted by our Chicago Bulls this coming Thursday in the NBA Draft. Let's go. Alright, Bulls Nation, I know many of you are thinking, why are the Bulls considering drafting Trae Young when we already have a point guard in Chris Dunn? Well, actually, there are many reasons. The Chicago Bulls are a team that's looking to be more of a pace and space offensive team, and in order for that type of offense to be successful, you must have shooters. And as much as I like Chris Dunn, and I think he's going to be a phenomenal player in the NBA, I think he can definitely develop into a two-way player in today's NBA. At this point in time in his career, one of the areas of his game that is lacking is consistent outside shooting. Because of the lack of outside shooting, it can cause floor spacing. Well, enter a player like a Trae Young. Trae Young's ability to score from anywhere on the floor would allow for many opportunities for not only Chris Dunn, but everyone on the Chicago Bulls. But as it relates to Chris Dunn, because Chris Dunn's game at this point is primarily predicated in terms of offense, his best asset on the offensive end is getting into the paint, creating opportunities for himself with his jumper or drives to the basket in general, as well as creating opportunities for his teammates in drive and kick situations. Adding a player like Trae Young would only benefit that type of player. It would open up the floor for him to do what he does best in terms of getting into the paint, as well as getting his teammates involved. Now, as far as where the NBA is going, I feel it's positionless basketball. So with the addition of Trae Young, should we draft him with the 7th pick, by no means does that mean a doom for Chris Dunn and that he'll no longer be a Chicago Bulls. because in today's NBA, in order to be successful, you must have playmakers on the floor. You must have players who can make shots and who can handle the ball together on the floor. You know, the days of having one or two people or just one guy on the floor being able to create his own shot and create shots for others are over. You know, we were able to make that work for years with Derrick Rose, but today's NBA, even in that short amount of time, has changed since then. So I feel like adding Trae Young to the backcourt with Chris Dunn would only benefit the Chicago Bulls. I mean, we've seen it work in other areas, in other teams in the NBA. I mean, you look at a team like New Orleans Pelicans, where they have a two-point guard system with Rajon Rondo and Drew Holiday. We've seen an undercourt, backcourt be successful in Portland with Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum. And we've seen two playmaking point guards be successful when you look at what Houston is doing with Chris Paul and James Harden. Now, by no means am I suggesting that Trae Young and Chris Dunn will become those players, but it is something that can be done and can be done with great success in the NBA. And so adding Trae Young to the roster would add a second playmaking point guard to the team that could play alongside Chris Dunn, and that in itself would only be a luxury for the Chicago Bulls. Now, an area of Trae Young game that he thrives in on the offensive end is pick and roll situations. So I could just imagine having Trae Young and Lauri Markkanen playing together in the pick and roll. I mean, granted, the defensive set probably would look to double team that situation, but in the event that Trae Young is able to get that ball off in that before the double team comes to a guy like a Lauri Markkanen, that will only give him an opportunity for outside shooting in terms of shooting shots, you know, at will with no defense on him in that situation. Or, you know, he does possess the ability to put the ball on the floor and get to the basket for scoring opportunities at the rim. And also, Trae Young is a phenomenal passer. He has excellent court vision, is a willing passer, and he also led the NCAA in assists this year. So I definitely think it would be no issue for him to hit Lauri Markkanen and roll opportunities out of the pick and roll. Also, with going back to, you know, the fact that adding Trae Young would mean the doom for Chris Dunn, I beg to differ again. And another reason why I do is because I think their games could complement each other. While Trae Young would definitely open up the floor for a player like Chris Dunn to get out and you know, to do what he does best, having Chris Dunn in the backcourt with Trae Young would also be beneficial to Trae Young as well. While he did lead the NCAA in scoring as well as assists this season, he also led the NCAA in turnovers. So having a guy in the backcourt with him who is capable of initiating the offense, facilitating for others, would only be a benefit to him as well. It would alleviate opportunity. It would alleviate him having to be that guy who does that all the time. He'll be able to get the ball over to Chris Dunn and possibly run him off some more screens to get him scoring opportunities that way, as opposed to just having him be the primary ball handler or the only ball handler as he was when he was with Oklahoma, and thus teams were able to key in on him, double and triple team him, get physical with him, and basically wear him down. Well, having him in the backcourt with the Chris Dunn would alleviate having to go through all of that on a night in and night out basis, because he'd have a backcourt mate who can do some of the same things that he can do with the basketball in terms of getting the offensive sets going as well as getting the teammates involved. Now, you know, the offensive potential of adding Trae Young to the young core of Dunn, Levine, and Markkanen would just simply be insane. I mean, between the athletes like Dunn and Levine, shooters such as himself and Dunn as far as playmaking is concerned, this would be a fun team to watch for many years to come. So, in summary, adding a player like Trae Young would improve the team's scoring balance because we finished near the bottom third in scoring as a team overall. His range would definitely open up the floor spacing for us to be even more successful in pace and space opportunities, and his playmaking ability would certainly make his teammates better. He's a willing passer. He has excellent court vision, and definitely we would be a better team because of it, especially on the offensive end. Now, this would actually conclude the 2018 Chicago Bulls Draft Target Series, as the NBA Draft will take place this coming Thursday. As always, thank you so much for taking the time out of your days to check out the channel as well as this entire series. Please leave a like button if you enjoyed the video, and please subscribe if you haven't already, and just leave a little comment down below just letting me know who you think the Bulls should draft. So in conclusion, let's hear from Trae Young.
On Bulls TV, we are joined by the All-American from the University of Oklahoma, Trae Young, in Chicago, working out for the Bulls. And Trae, before we talk X's and O's, I want to talk a little about Trae Young. What do you like other than basketball? What is a passion of yours other than playing hoops?
I mean, I'm a very relaxed guy. I like watching TV shows. I love going to movies. Hanging out with my family. I'm a very family person, so doing different things with them and just hanging out, chilling and relaxing. And I'm trying to get into golf a little bit and trying to get my swing going.
All right. Hopefully it's better than Charles Barkley. Have you seen Barkley swing?
Yeah, my swing's a little better than that.
Oh, good. Are you binge watching? What are you watching?
As far as shows, I mean, right now I'm on Survivor's Remorse. I'm a big fan of that show. Just different things like that.
All right, good enough. So your workout, what is the workout like? I mean, you're bouncing around city to city. Obviously, you got to get your rest and nutrition. What is it like working out for an NBA team?
It's different, especially when you're going 1-0. It's definitely different just because of the conditioning style. You don't get very many breaks. But it's great. I mean, this is my dream. And I'm just happy that I'm in this situation, and I'm very blessed to be here. And just going through this process has been good, but doing 1-0 is definitely tougher.
All right. Well, obviously you're in Chicago. You worked out for the Bulls. How did it go? And what do you think of the team in the city?
Yeah, I loved it here. I loved my time here. Getting to know the coaching staff. I know the players. A few of the players already from high school, and throughout this process, I've gotten to know a lot of the players. So I love the city of Chicago. I mean, it's a legendary city. A lot of history behind it, and it's a great city.
Well, we saw you play at Oklahoma. You had a fabulous year under Lon Kruger. Your game to the NBA level. What about that transition? What type of NBA player do you think you'll be?
I think I'll be hopefully a great NBA player. I believe in my talents. I believe in putting in the hard work and all that paying off. And so far, that's worked out for me. And so working hard is nothing that people are going to have to worry about, and something that my coaches and my teammates aren't going to have to worry about, because I'm going to work hard, and so they know they're going to get the best Trae Young they can get.
Well, I want to talk about Trae Young, because instead of talking about your scoring, I want to talk about your passing. Mm-hmm. It kind of ggets overlooked, doesn't it?
Yeah, I feel like it does. I mean, my teammates really appreciate my passing ability, especially at Oklahoma. I talked to them a lot, and but I feel like coming to the NBA, my passing ability will be able to help my teammates, and just get open shots, and the spacing of the floor will help my teammates out a lot.
I'm going to close on one final note. You know that if the Bulls do draft you, okay, that Stacey King is going to remind you every day that you're the second best player in the building from the University of Oklahoma. You know that.
Yeah, I know that. Stacey, I mean, he's a legend. He's a legend in Oklahoma. I grew up a big fan of his ever since I was a kid. Hopefully one day my jersey can be in the Raptors at Oklahoma like his. But so until my jersey is hanging up, I can't disagree with him. But I mean, he's a legend for sure.
Well, we wish you all the best. Welcome to Chicago again. I know you've been here to our city, but all the best. We wish you great success. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's Trae Young from the University of Oklahoma here with the Bulls working out right here on Bulls.